You know, if you watch videos, you'll know that not long ago I did some videos about France. We had traveled in France, and this is one particular instance that happened to us there. We're driving along into the city of Avignon, which we wanted to see. We were living on a small farm not far from there, and all of a sudden my wife says, she's doing the driving, she says, "Hey, we're almost out of gas. We got to find some." I say, "Well, look, you know, this Reno probably gets about 30 miles to the gallon. We don't have to panic about it. We'll find one soon." "I know," she says, "but the little red light's blinking now." I said, okay. So, oh, look, right up there. I believe there's a gas station. Sure enough, it was, and she pulled in there, and we looked, and sure enough, there were 2 pumps there, but that's all it was. There wasn't any kind of little structure, you know, for an attendant or like a convenience store like we have here, 7-Eleven, nothing like that. But that was a car wash. Well, she hopped out of the car and chucked the card into the gas pump. And I'm getting out. She says, "It's not working." I said, "Just wait a minute. I don't have my shoes on." When she's driving and we're traveling, I take my shoes off. So it took a while to get them on, and I got out and said, okay, try the other one. She looked in her wallet, pulled out another credit card. "It's not working either." She said, I know. She said, "They worked on the freeway. You know, when we were driving from Paris, they worked, but they're not working here." I said, "Well, maybe it's a different, let me see." So I get out of the car and I look at her card and make sure it's not bent up or anything and kind of wipe off the thing a little bit there. And I don't understand a word of French, you know. My knowledge of foreign languages usually includes 10 words. Hello, goodbye, thank you, bathroom, cheeseburger, and beer. And that's about the limit of my language. And those words weren't applicable anywhere in this situation. She says, "We got to do something." I said, "Just calm down. We'll find a solution." Well, I try the card too. It doesn't work. I don't try my cards because somebody had relieved me of mine on the metro in Paris. So I said, "No, it doesn't work." I'm thinking. And about that time, I look at her, and she's coming back, and she's talking in broken French to this guy who's with her, you know. And I figure he must have been working over on the car wash or something, and he's a Frenchman, and she's motioning and stuff like that, and he's wide-eyed. And finally, she gets up to where I am, and she says, "I found this guy here. Maybe he can help us." That's okay. So she put the card in and pulled it out and showed him that it didn't work, and showed it to him, and he looked at it. And he's about 50 years old, kind of grizzled with a gray stubble on his face, and he looked a lot like Jean Reno, the actor, big guy, you know, working man. He looked at the card, then he tried it, rubbed the little window off with his dirty hand. Nothing happened. He pulls it out. He said something. All this time he's talking in French. We don't know what word he's saying. And he shakes his head, no. So then he turns around, you know, he says goodbye, I guess, and starts to walk away. "Hey, wait a minute. Listen, Monsieur, you got to help us." He turns around and comes back. And I took my card out and I held it, took Claudette's card really, and I held it up and this, and I pointed at him and says, "Have you got one of these? Have you got one of these?" And finally, he's like that, and he pulls it out and shows us card. And I said, why don't you put your card in, and give me 10 liters of gasoline, okay? 10 liters of gasoline. And amazingly, he put his card in, and he pumped the gas right into the Renault, pulled the card out. And I pull out the money and I give him 25 euros. He put 20 euros in. I gave him 25 euros. Gives me $5. No. 5 euros is a great tip, sir, for what you've done to us. And I thanked him profusely. I don't know if he knew what I said or not. But he smiled. And I shook his hand and he walked away. And we were ready to go. Everything was calmed down, and as I was going, I was thinking as we were driving away, I said, you know, a lot of people ask us, are the French as rude and crude as you say they are? And you know what? We've been to France several times, and every time we found the French people to be friendly and careful and always willing to help us at any problem we had, just like the guy at the gas station.